Admiral Threx stood in the grand halls of the Galactic Senate, his voice trembling with fury. "I warned you," he growled, his mandibles clicking in agitation. "I told you the humans were not to be provoked. But you didn't listen. You thought they were weak." The Senate chamber, an enormous dome of shimmering energy, was filled with representatives from 1,000 star systems. The towering, robed figure of the High Chancellor of the Galactic Empire, Zeltalvaron, leaned forward, his crimson eyes glowing. "They are weak," he sneered. "And we have proven it." 50,000 of their so-called warriors, their Americans, were executed on a live broadcast across the galaxy. Their screams were heard on every world. And what have they done? Nothing. Threx turned away in disgust, muttering a single phrase. "They will come." The broadcast, a galaxy watches in horror. The execution had been brutal, efficient. The humans, captured after a failed resistance effort on the occupied colony of New Avalon, had been paraded before the cameras of the Empire. They were soldiers, civilians, engineers, doctors, anyone who had fought against the rule of the Empire. Their crime? Resisting annexation. 50,000 Americans were lined up on the execution scaffolds, their hands bound, their faces defiant. They were given no last words. No trial. No mercy. The broadcast was sent to every corner of the Empire. The High Chancellor himself presided over it, watching with amusement as the executioners, tall, insectoid beings with black exoskeletons, pulled the levers. The scaffolds fell. The ropes went taut. And 50,000 American soldiers died on live broadcast. For a moment, there was silence. Then, the human homeworld responded. General Jonathan Hawthorne, the executioner of empires. In a darkened war room on Earth, General Jonathan Hawthorne watched the execution unfold. The room was silent, save for the soft hum of the holographic screens. When the last soldier died, Hawthorne exhaled slowly. His hands tightened into fists. "Sir," a young officer whispered, his voice shaking, "the president is on the line?" Hawthorne didn't answer immediately. He simply turned and spoke one sentence. "Prepare for full mobilization." The order was relayed instantly. Across Earth, Mars, and the outer colonies, the United Terran military went into full war mode. Factories roared to life. Warships were pulled from their docks. The silent void of space trembled as the full fury of humanity was unleashed. The message was clear. The Galactic Empire had declared war on the wrong species. The Silent Fleet, humanity strikes back. The Empire had assumed that humans would do what they always did: negotiate, send diplomats, beg for peace. They were wrong. 1 month after the execution, the first human fleet arrived in orbit over Philos, the capital world of the Galactic Empire. It did not send messages. It did not respond to hails. It simply waited. Then on the second day, the skies burned. Thousands of drop pods descended like meteors, slamming into the towering spires of Philos. Human soldiers poured out, silent, relentless, their eyes filled with the cold fire of vengeance. They did not take prisoners. They did not negotiate. They executed every Imperial soldier they found, leaving their bodies hanging from the very spires that once symbolized the Empire's strength. The fall of the Empire. The war did not last long. The humans did not conquer. They eradicated. Planet after planet fell. The might of the Galactic Empire, an empire that had lasted for 10,000 years, crumbled within months. Their warships, once thought invincible, were shattered in brutal ship-to-ship combat. The Empire's ruling elite tried to flee, but they were hunted down. On the final day of the war, General Hawthorne stood in the ruins of the Imperial Senate. His soldiers dragged the High Chancellor before him, his once proud robes now tattered and covered in dust. Hawthorne looked down at the alien leader who had ordered the execution of 50,000 of his people. "You made a mistake," he said coldly. "And now your empire burns." The execution was swift. The High Chancellor was hanged from the ruins of his own palace, just as the Americans had been. Epilogue. The lesson of Philos. The war was over. The Galactic Empire was gone. But the galaxy never forgot the lesson of Philos, the day humanity proved why they should never be crossed. And on every surviving world, one phrase became legend. Never provoke the humans.
End.